Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen we're making some fluffy, delicious coconut cupcakes. So let's get started. First off, set your oven to 350, and now in a large bowl we're going to combine the dry ingredients, starting with 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That's 300 grams. Perfect. To puff things up, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. By the way, I love coconut as a flavor. It's one of my favorites, but I do not like using too much coconut extract. That is not the right thing. We're gonna use coconut milk in the batter, and it's gonna be a subtle but amazing coconut flavor. It's gonna get amped up with shredded coconut, and the frosting is gonna be out of control. For some contrast, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Grab a whisk and mix it up. Just distribute all of those leavening agents in the salt. And now we can set this aside. Grab your stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment or a big bowl and an electric hand mixer. Into our stand mixer, I'm adding 1 cup or 226 grams of room temperature unsalted butter, and room temperature butter should be having an indent when pressed with just a little bit of pressure. You can bend it and it feels soft. If it's a cold day and your butter is not warming up, just microwave it at 50% power in 10-second bursts. To sweeten the batter and soften it as well, I'm adding 2 cups or 400 grams of granulated sugar. Sugar doesn't just make things sweet, it changes the consistency of the batter. If you reduce the sugar, it's less sweet and it'll be breadier. Pop your paddle attachment on, and we're gonna mix this up at medium speed for about 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Scrape the bowl down as needed. While my butter's mixing, I'm gonna crack my eggs into a bowl. 4 large room temperature eggs, please. I'm just doing this to make sure there are no shells in my cupcakes. 2, 3, and 4. I just want to show you my butter has been mixing up and it is light and fluffy now. It's going to change consistency a lot once we start adding liquid in, but do not worry, it's how it's supposed to be. Trust the recipe. Mix in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, still mixing on medium. And now we'll add the eggs in one at a time, making sure to scrape the bowl down after each addition. In fact, I'm gonna scrape it down right now because I see a wall of butter on the side of my mixer. It's unacceptable. Back to mixing. Once that egg is fully incorporated, we'll add the next in. Okay, second scrape down. Egg number 3. Last egg. Much soupier, but that's what we want. We couldn't have all that hard butter in our batter. When you open up your can of coconut milk, you'll often have a really hard layer of basically coconut fat on top and pure coconut water on the bottom. Scoop the contents of the can into a microwave-safe bowl. Warm it up in the microwave and mix it up until it's nice and smooth and even. That way you'll get just the right amount of fat. And we're not using the whole can, it's just 1 cup of this. With my mixer running on low, I'm gonna alternate the dry mixture and the coconut milk in 3 batches, starting with the dry. So add about 1/3 in, pour in 1/2 of the milk, another 1/3 of the dry mixture, the remaining milk, and the last of the dry mixture. Mix this until it is almost combined. I'm stopping it here. You can see there's streaks of flour all over the place, but we're gonna finish this off by hand with our spatula. Get all that batter off of your beater. Grabbing the last bit of coconut milk that's in here. And that coconut milk has a lovely, mild coconut flavor, but I want to amp it up and give me some nice texture with sweetened shredded coconut. I'm using 1 cup or 180 grams. And if you haven't had this stuff, it is so good. It's like one of my favorite things to nibble on. Sprinkle that in, and we're just gonna fold it in. And in doing so, I'm gonna scrape the bowl down. The rest of the flour is gonna disappear, and my batter will be ready to pop into my muffin tin. Grab 2 muffin tins and line them with cupcake papers. This recipe makes 24 delicious coconut cupcakes. And by the way, if you like my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new recipes every single week. We're gonna fill our cupcake papers about 3/4 of the way full. I have a feeling I'm overfilling these papers a little bit. I really can't help myself. If that's the case, you'll just have some taller cupcakes that might need like an extra minute or so of bake time, and you'll have less of them. These cupcakes are delicious on their own, but we're gonna top them with an amazing cream cheese frosting that's so luscious. It'll be flavored with coconut from coconut milk and more sweetened shredded coconut. Today, I get 21 cupcakes, and that's fine. I overfilled them, but it'll be okay. My coconut cupcakes are ready to go into the oven, 350 for 20 to 23 minutes, or until a wooden skewer inserted in the center comes out clean. Because I overfilled, and I have 3 empty spaces, I'm gonna fill the empty cups halfway with water so this side doesn't burn. The metal gets too hot if it's empty, and it causes the cupcakes to cook faster on that side. The more you know. Once your cupcakes are basically cool, it's time to make this delicious cream cheese coconut frosting. 3/4 of a cup of unsalted room temperature butter into your stand mixer. And I would just point out that this room temperature butter is fairly soft. You don't want to have it be too firm. It's just not going to whip up really nicely. Into the bowl, I said. Inside. Okay. And now I want 227 grams, or 1 8-ounce brick, of room temperature cream cheese. Again, it should be nice and soft. Okay, mix this on medium speed until it's nice and smooth. It'll be like maybe a minute. Depends on the temperature of your ingredients, to be honest. Once that's nice and smooth, we can add our powdered sugar in. This is to taste. The recipe calls for 6 cups, but you could add a little bit more. You could add a little bit less. It's really to taste. Add that first 2 cups in here and then give it a mix on low. I'm mixing on low so I don't have an explosion of powdered sugar. Also, I don't want to pump a ton of air into this frosting. It's just going to make it a little bit less pretty when I pipe it out. So you're really creaming it together. I have 3 tablespoons of that full fat coconut milk I used earlier. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit in between additions of powdered sugar. Okay. Next 2 cups. A little bit more coconut milk. And now we'll add in the remaining powdered sugar. These cupcakes are probably gonna go pretty fast, but we're making a lot. They're great for a party. If you have extras, 3 days in an airtight container or 5 days in the fridge, again, in an airtight container. You could also have the baked unfrosted cupcakes in the freezer for up to 2 months. Just pop them into a freezer bag. Mix on low. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla go in as well. Now we're gonna increase speed to medium-low and beat this for about a minute until it's light and fluffy. It's not a bad idea to give the bowl at least 1 scrape down, by the way. Just to make sure everything's nice and evenly mixed. There might be some pure butter lurking at the bottom of your bowl. And by the way, if your frosting is a bit too thick, just add in a little bit more coconut milk, a tablespoon at a time, until you have the desired consistency. Okay. This looks great to me. I'm gonna show you 2 different ways to decorate these cupcakes that are really easy but so beautiful. So I'm filling a piping bag with a closed star tip attached. It's one of my favorite go-tos for decorating. But If you don't have that, or you just don't feel like doing that much work, grab a triggered ice cream scoop. Take some frosting, plop it on top just like that, and then just press it into some more sweetened shredded coconut, and you have like the perfect cupcake. Like in my opinion, that's the perfect amount of frosting, tons of coconut flavor on top. And if you want some extra texture, just toast the coconut. Pop it in at 350 for a few minutes, shaking every couple minutes until it's nice and golden. Using a piping tip looks really pretty too though, so just squeeze it out and sprinkle with some shredded coconut. Both totally beautiful. Make the best sandwich ever, and just like that, these coconut cupcakes are ready to enjoy. What's nice is it's just natural, real coconut flavor coming through. It's not hitting you over the head, but it's so delicious and beautiful. These cupcakes are really light and fluffy too. I hope you get a chance to make this amazing recipe, and if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button and check out my coconut playlist.